Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1725 AN. Today's date is November 26th, 2018, and the title of the episode is IMF Calls on Central Bankers to Begin the Transition Process into Their New System. Now, before we get started, I just want to know if anyone remembers watching the old westerns when the cowboy or the gunslinger would swagger up to the bar, ask for a slug of bourbon, knock it back in one, sling a coin across the counter, and ask for another. Chances are that coin would have been a silver dollar. They used real silver coins back then. Between 1878 and 1921, it would have been the Morgan silver dollar. Everyone used it, but they went out of circulation when the price of silver went up, and the coin itself was worth more melted down than it was as a dollar. That's why we don't have real precious metal coins anymore. But we can still collect the old ones. They're getting rarer by the day, and collecting coins is becoming a profitable little hobby for many. The Morgan silver dollar is a great coin to start a collection of, and Noble Gold has managed to source some great examples for this piece of American history just in time for the holidays. So if you want something different and unusual to buy someone for a holiday gift, you don't want to spend a fortune, but want something which will be a keeper and gain value, the Morgan silver dollar might be just the thing. Go to historicsilvercoins.com, and for a limited time, save $5 per coin with the offer code X22. You could end up with one of these silver dollars people like Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, Theodore Roosevelt carried around in their pockets. That's a holiday present nobody can forget. Go to historicsilvercoins.com and don't forget to put the code X22 to receive a $5 savings per coin. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, we knew this day would come. We knew the central bankers would have to push their agenda forward. They weren't just going to sit back and allow their entire global system come to an end. And this is going to be a fight to the end. We know that Trump and the Patriots, they're going after the central bank, most likely in league with China and Russia, and most likely many other countries. The central bankers were planning on an event at this point in time because they knew their system wouldn't be able to continue on because it only lasts for a certain period of time. Yes, they could continually manipulate. You know what happens when you continually manipulate? The numbers look fantastic. The stock market looks great. The unemployment rate looks great. They can control inflation. That looks fantastic. But in reality, when people start losing jobs, when more manufacturers leave the country, when everything starts to fall apart in the background and people aren't spending money, guess what? The manipulation really doesn't mean that much. Because when people are out of work, when people aren't purchasing homes, when people aren't taking out student loans, when people aren't purchasing cars, when stores are closing down, yeah, you can tell everyone everything is great by showing them the statistical numbers. But in reality, it's not. And they know this. They know they only have a certain period of time. Trump and the Patriots, they know they only have a certain period of time before everyone starts to realize what this economy, not just the United States economy, but the global economy is really all about. Now remember, their entire plan, and I say the central bank's entire plan was to have an event by now. At least the beginning stages of an event so they can explain why all this is happening, why we're seeing inflation, why you have to sacrifice, why you have to tighten your belt, why you have to do all these things, why you don't see the food and other supplies on the shelves. They don't have that right now. And they're moving their system to what they always wanted, a digital system. And this is going to be a cryptocurrency system. Now, a lot of people think, well, see, told you, cryptocurrencies, always the central bankers. Well, think about it. Use logical thinking. Before the private central bank came into existence in 1913, didn't we have paper money? The difference is that paper money, the currency at the time, was the people's. We didn't loan it to ourselves with interest attached. It was attached to something. Same thing with cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies are fantastic, but not in the hands of the central bank. They want to centralize it, which is actually the opposite of the entire blockchain system. They want to control it, which is actually the opposite of the blockchain system. They're going to create it out of thin air, like it is done now, but they're going to attach interest to it. It doesn't matter if it's paper, digital, it makes no difference. The problem is, it's the central bank. Once they gain control of it, once governments sign it over to them and say, you have the legal right to create this, and you can attach interest to it and allow governments to borrow this currency, no matter if it's paper, no matter if it's digital, that's where the problem comes in. And we'll be talking about that in just a minute. But first, let's talk about what is happening here in the economy. We're going to see everything start to turn around, and it's going to turn around quite quickly. We know the central bank here in the United States, the Fed, they're raising the interest rates quite quickly. And as they continually raise the rates, every 25 basis points, we're going to see more and more of the economy break down. We're going to see different sectors start to break down, and that's what we're starting to see. We know the brick and mortar stores, they've been having a lot of trouble. Yes, certain sales are moving to online, but it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. Yes, combining the brick and mortars and the online sales are okay. Now remember, these are sales where people are using their credit cards. Remember, they've changed the FICO scores. People have been receiving credit cards. People have been receiving blank credit cards with a nice credit limit on it because they moved to a different bracket with their credit scores. So they feel very comfortable going out spending money they don't have. And we've seen this in the past. This is why debt continually rises and people's salaries, they're not moving anywhere. Maybe a little bit here and there, but not much. It's not keeping up to the amount of debt that is being taken on. Now, this Black Friday, brick and mortar stores, they've seen less traffic. They are having problems. People aren't purchasing. Yes, there are sales that went to online. Online is going to continually increase in sales because it's brand new. And the trajectory is always going to be up right now until it levels off. Just like we saw, the internet, everyone coming online. But at a certain point, it levels off. So this is brand new. More and more stores are offering online sales. People are taking advantage of this because they don't want to leave their homes. It has nothing to do with bad weather or anything like that. They just find it easier to click a button and wait for it to come to their house. And what we're seeing is that brick and mortar stores, even with their online presence, they're still having problems. It's not a 1-to-1 ratio where everyone decided, hey, you know what? I'm not going to shop at brick and mortars. I'm going to do all my shopping online. We're not seeing that just yet. And we're going to see this holiday season, well, the sales might look a lot better, but you have to remember, this is all going to be on credit. And after that, well, that's where the problem comes in. Do I think this is going to be an incredible holiday season? No. I think there's going to be problems. I think more stores are going to close. I think even those stores with online presence, they're going to close also because they will not be able to keep up with what is going on in the real economy. And what's really going on is that people don't have the funds. They have credit, but they don't have the funds to pay off that credit. And that's where it starts to fall apart. This is why we see credit continually moving up and up and up and up. We see today that GM, they're going to have mass layoffs affecting around 14,000 workers. And they're going to be shutting plants in the U.S. and in Canada. Now, this is absolutely awful. Now, why is this happening? Aren't people buying cars? Remember, we talked about this in the past. What did GM and other automobile manufacturers, what have they done in the past to make it look like they were doing well? They channel stuffed dealerships. And they counted those as sales. As they brought cars onto the dealerships, even though no one purchased them, those were counted as sales. Now we can see there's a huge problem because people aren't purchasing. People are shying away now. Interest rates are rising. People are saying, something, I'm going to hold off on buying this new car right now. You know what? Maybe I won't do this at this point. And GM is going to be in a lot of trouble. Not just GM, but a lot of automobile manufacturers. We've been following the automobile industry, and it's been declining in sales quite a bit. And we're seeing delinquencies started to rise. Remember, when the illusion falls apart, you have to go back to what the illusion actually was. I mean, people are going to say, well, it's all the tariffs. That's the problem. This has nothing to do with the tariffs. Automobile manufacturers, they were propped up once again with a gigantic illusion, just like prior to 2008. And then they had to come crawling on their hands and knees and beg for money because they were overextended. The same thing's happening right now. Now, the central bankers realize that this economy can't continue on. Trump and the Patriots, they know that this economy can't continue on. Remember, we're coming down to the end stage of all of this. And again, whoever has the narrative, they're the winners. Now, the central bankers, they're going to continue on with their plan. Trump and the Patriots, they're continuing with their plan. Now, I do believe Trump and the Patriots, they have the edge right now because they have Powell pushing the interest rates up and Trump out there blaming the Fed for all of this, which then in turn blames the IMF, which then in turn blames the BIS, which in turn blames the EU, and so on and so forth. So the central bankers right now, they're looking for a way out of this. And they're getting ready to transition into their new system. Now, the IMF, they have recommended that all central banks should use their own cryptocurrencies. They're saying everyone turn towards the blockchain. Why would they want to do this? Well, we've been talking about this for a very long time. They want a cashless society. They want an electronic society. Think about what they can do with an electronic society that they control. Don't get confused. Why do you think Bitcoin and all the other cryptocurrency coins have been dropping so much? Because their entire agenda was to show everyone that Bitcoin and all the other coins, they can't be maintained. They're volatile. And you don't want to, use those for your electronic currency. You need a central bank to control it and to keep it stable. That has been their entire narrative from the very, very beginning. And what they're doing right now is they're pushing their agenda to control the electronic space. And they want it right now because they realize their system's coming to an end. What can they do with electronic currency that they control? That they force governments to say, hey, listen, you will use our whatever coin it's called for trade. And all the people will use this. Everyone will be taxed on this. Guess what? They'll know right off the bat how much you owe in taxes. They can collect with a snap of a finger. They can see all your transactions. They can monitor everything that you do because they control all of it. They know what you're doing. And they want full control of this. They're pushing their agenda right now to take full control of all of this. So you can't hide cash. You can't do any of those things because it will be all electronic. And remember, the point of the blockchain, the point of these cryptocurrencies is to have it decentralized and not controlled by a central bank. That's the whole purpose of these, where we become our own banks. But remember, the private one central bank, they don't want that. They want full control over the currency. And I believe they're calling for this transitional phase right now to get everything on the blockchain. Why are they moving so rapidly? Why did the IMF put the call out there? Well, think about it. If they can get everything on the blockchain and everything transitioned into this new system and blame Trump and the Patriots for the old system dying, they can say, we have this new system ready to go and everything can be used on it. We have it already prepared. Now, they've been preparing for this for quite a while. There have been many different banks that have coordinated and working together to create a new cryptocurrency that banks would be able to use. Do we know the exact name of it as of yet? No, we don't. But if they can do this, this would stop a lot of the bank runs. This would stop a lot of these things from happening. And this is why they're pushing it so hard right now. And this is not like they decided yesterday. This has been their agenda, their plan all along. This is why you see other cryptocurrencies dropping like there's no tomorrow. Why do you think they suppress gold and silver? Anything that goes against their currency system or what they want to do, they suppress it. And that's what we're seeing right now. Now, Trump and the Patriots, they have completely different plans. Their plan is to expose the criminal activity of what the central banks have been doing around the world. And once Trump and the Patriots and other countries start to do this, the central bankers are then doomed. Because once that is out there, that they're criminal, doesn't matter if they have a cryptocurrency, doesn't matter if they want us to transition to this, because it's a criminal enterprise. And once that is exposed, once that's completely transparent to everyone, they'll have no place to hide. And countries and people will be demanding that the central bank be removed, that they no longer have the power to create currency. That's what Trump and the Patriots are going for. This is not just about arrests here, let's win another election. This is about resetting the entire governmental central bank system, returning the power to we the people. And you can see right now, the central bank, they're getting worried, they're starting to panic, and they're going to be doing stupid things as they try to push their agenda moving into cryptocurrencies. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.